Good evening.
Good evening, Madam Mayor.
Okay. Thank you
Good
to
evening.
everyone.
Good evening.
Hybrid Council meeting on the 30th of June 2020. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Councillor Khan and I'm the Mayor of Chorley. Also present are officers and councillors who will be asked to introduce themselves in a moment. As this is the first time we have conducted a hybrid council meeting, please bear with us. There are some members and officers in the Lancastrian room at the Town Hall and other members and officers who are joining us from home, so welcome. Please note this meeting is being recorded and will be available later on. For each item, I will invite members to use the raise hand function on your iPad to make any comments to ensure each member has the opportunity to speak and they are not speaking over each other. Please mute your microphone and video feed when you are not talking. When speaking, please reference the page number on the agenda and paragraph number or enable everyone to follow you. Our monitoring officer, Chris, will repeat the motion before the vote is taken to ensure everyone is aware of what is being voted on. I will call upon each member to vote and Chris will confirm the outcome of the decision. If the technology fails, then I will adjourn the meeting for a few minutes to try and resolve the issue, or if this is not possible, a new date and time will be organised. Please can I ask all members to confirm they can hear and speak before the meeting begins. I will call out each member. Councillor Steve Holgate.
Yes, I'm here, Madam Mayor.
Councillor Aaron Beaver.
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Councillor Julia Berry.
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Councillor Martin Boardman.
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Councillor Aleister Bradley.
Here, Madam Mayor.
Councillor Terry Brown. Councillor Terry Brown. Councillor Val Corns.
Present, Madam Chair.
Councillor Mark Clifford. Councillor Mark Clifford. Councillor Jean Cronshaw. Councillor Graham Dunn.
Here, Madam Mayor.
Councillor Christopher France.
Here.
Councillor Gordon France.
Here, Madam Mayor.
Councillor Margaret France. Councillor Peter Cabot.
Here, Madam Mayor.
Councillor Anthony.
Sorry?
Councillor Anthony G. Councillor Danny G.
Here, Madam Mayor.
Councillor Tom Gray.
Here, Madam Mayor.
Councillor Yvonne Hargreaves.
Here, Madam Mayor.
Councillor Alex Hilton.
Here, Madam Mayor.
Councillor Keith Idden. Councillor Keith Idden.
Madam Mayor.
Councillor Zara Khan. Councillor Zara Khan.
Here, Madam Mayor.
Councillor Margaret Lees.
Here, Madam Mayor.
Councillor Roy Lees. Councillor Roy Lees. Councillor Laura Lennox.
The Mayor.
Councillor Sheila Long. Councillor Sheila Long. Councillor Adrian Law.
Madam Mayor.
Councillor Marion Law. Councillor Marion Law.
Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Councillor Matthew Lynch. Councillor June Molyneux.
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Councillor Alistair Morwood. Councillor Steve Murphy.
Here, Madam Mayor.
Councillor Beverly Murray.
Here, Madam Mayor.
Councillor Deborah Platt.
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Councillor Gillian Sharples. Councillor Gillian Sharples.
Here, Madam Mayor.
Councillor Paul Sloan.
Here, Madam Mayor.
Councillor Kim Snape,
Here, Madam Mayor.
Councillor John Walker,
Here, Madam Mayor.
Councillor Paul Walmsley, Councillor Paul Walmsley,
Here, Madam Mayor.
Councillor Neville Whittam,
Here, Madam Mayor.
Councillor Alan Whittaker, Councillor Peter Wilson.
Here, Madam Mayor.
Also our officers, Gary Hall, Chris Sinnott,
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Asim Khan,
Here, Madam Mayor.
Mark Lester,
Here, Madam Mayor.
Chris Moister,
Here, Madam Mayor.
Ruth Remington.
Yes, Madam Mayor.
On to apologies now. Apologies for absence have been received from councillors John Dalton, Jane Fitzsimmons and Joyce Snape. Agenda item 1, minutes of the last meeting, 3rd of March 2020, pages 7 to 10. Can I have a proposer and a seconder, please?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Can I propose the minutes of the meeting of Tuesday the 3rd of March in that pre-COVID world that we all remember so well, taken as a true and correct record? Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Do you have a seconder?
Seconded, Madam Mayor.
Are there any issues to raise on the accuracy of the minutes? Well, we have a proposer and a seconder. Chris, please can you confirm?
Yes, Madam Mayor. The proposal is that the minutes of the last meeting be approved.
Are we all in favour?
Agreed.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Item 2. Sorry. Okay. Do you want to speak now, Paul?
Sorry, no, just raising my hand to say in favour. Sorry, wrong.
Okay, well, okay. We can count them. Thank you, okay. Item 2, declarations of any interest. Members are reminded of their responsibility to declare any pecuniary interest in respect of matters contained in this agenda. As this is a hybrid meeting, if a member has a pecuniary interest, they are requested to leave the call completely, rather than just mute their microphone. The member can rejoin the call following the completion of the item in questions. Agenda item 3, public questions. No public questions have been received. Item 4, councillor resignation. To report that Councillor Eric Bell, elected member of Clayton and Whistler Ward, resigned as a councillor with effect from the 5th of May 2020. Councillor Bell served Chorley for 31 years, and I would like to wish him and his family best wishes for the future. Would the group leaders like to say anything? Councillor Bradley.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I think we're all a bit surprised that Eric, Councillor Bell, was standing down for this final year, but he no doubt has his reasons to do it, and I no doubt that his ward colleague, Councillor Walker, would like to say a few things about him as well. I'm sure they'll all be good. John, Eric has been a fixture of this council for a long, long time. Over 30 years he's served Chorley as a councillor, and obviously the people of Whitley Woods in particular, which has always been his passion. He's always been interested in everything the council's been doing. He was part of the administration when I came onto the council myself, in the administration led by Peter Goldsworthy, and was a vital member of that administration. I think Eric talks to lots of people, knows lots of people, is known by lots of people, and therefore will be missed by lots of people in the role that he's done. I think many of us sent him individual messages and paid tribute to him. And I hope we can say farewell to him properly at a future event, which we can invite him along to, Madam Mayor, where we're not restricted by space. But I think all of us aspire to do the kind of service that Eric did for the people of Chorley. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Absolutely. Councillor Walker.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. It gives me great pleasure to say a few words about Eric. Normally, and these are not normal times, we would have said our thanks for his 31-year service on this council at the April council meeting. However, this was not to be, and he surprised everybody when he announced his retirement during the week when the May election should have taken place. This caused a great panic in our group, but we managed to post a brief resume about his time as a councillor on Facebook on the 7th of May. It worked very well, as the post received over 100 comments thanking Eric for his years as a councillor. On the same day, I presented Eric with a gift and a bouquet of flowers for his wife, Pat, from our group. This was done at a safe distance, of course. Andrew in Comms wrote a splendid article for councillors and the Chorley Guardian with quotes about Eric from Aleister and myself, which was again well received by the public. Eric has served Whitley Woods, Claytonley Woods and Buckshaw Village wards for approximately 31 years, and during that time worked with diligence and has always been available to advise many residents throughout his tenure. He was leader of the Conservative group in the late 90s and early 2000s and served on most of the committees before and after executive cabinet. He was honoured to represent Chorley as mayor in 2003 and 4 and raised a considerable amount of money for his chosen charities during his year in office. I have worked alongside Eric for over 20 years and have always found him to be a hard-working and conscientious councillor, supporting residents, the town and his fellow councillors. I would like to convey to Eric and Pat from the council here tonight our thanks for his time as a councillor and wish them both a happy and healthy retirement. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Danny G would like to speak.
You're on mute, mate.
Thank you. Yeah, sorry about that. Going back many years ago when we had committees before the cabinet was introduced, Eric and I seemed to be on the same committees, and we always seemed to go on conferences together. And I've got to say that we had some great times down all over the country on these conferences. Eric told me his life story many times, and it was really interesting. He is a character. He has been an asset to the council. He's been an asset to Whitley Woods. When he was mayor, I had the honour of being deputy mayor to him, and he bent over backwards to help me in the role, what thing to do. So I personally would like to thank him for the help he's given me and wish him a happy retirement. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Thank you. Agenda item 5, election of the mayor for the... Sorry. Councillor Whittaker, would you like to come in now? You don't want to speak? No? Okay, thank you. Agenda item 5, election of the mayor for the council year 2020-21. Can I have a proposer and a seconder, please? Councillor Hilton.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd like to propose that Councillor Steve Holgate is the Mayor of Chorley. Thank you for allowing me to nominate him here this evening. I knew this day would come, and I've prepared lots of funny stories about Councillor Holgate, but unfortunately I've been asked to keep it short this evening, certainly shorter than my lockdown here anyway. So I've been asked to formalise this process in only a few words. Steve was first elected as a councillor in 1995, and he's proudly served Chorley on a number of occasions ever since. He's certainly one of the longest serving councillors not to hold the office of the mayor, and it's an absolute pleasure to nominate him this evening. One of the things that we all know about Councillor Holgate is his green credentials, and he's always been passionate about environmental causes, always been a very strong voice in pushing the green agenda to help combat climate change or global warming greenhouse effect, whatever it was known as in 1995. Steve has proudly chaired the recent overview and scrutiny committee that was instrumental in Chorley Council declaring a climate emergency, which will hopefully go some way towards a greener and safer Chorley for future generations. I think Councillor Holgate should be extremely proud of the work that he's done. I know I speak for myself and as well as my ward colleague Councillor Jane Fitzsimons in saying that Councillor Holgate is one of the calmest, most affable, intelligent, humorous, loyal and decent people we've ever had the pleasure of working with. It's an honour and privilege to represent him as the Mayor of Chorley. To nominate him as the Mayor of Chorley.
Thank you. Seconder, please. Councillor Wilson.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. It is a delight to nominate my friend Stephen as the Mayor for the forthcoming year. I've known Councillor Holgate for over 23 years, Madam Mayor. Therefore, my stories or funny stories about Stephen was currently taking up 2 lever arch files, and I've not stopped yet. But what I realised, Madam Mayor, is that most of those actually probably couldn't be told before 9 p.m. watershed. So I shall again keep my comments brief. Steve did ask me to specifically not mention the trip to the pawn shop in Plymouth, so I won't. But Stephen has been a radical in his time in politics, and Councillor Hilton made reference to his green credentials, and of course Steve was a big CND supporter, and indeed before he joined the Labour Party, Steve believed in direct action and marched himself off with a group of friends to RAF Burton Wood, now no longer there, and attempted to cut the wire of the perimeter fence to get himself arrested, and he was very successfully got himself arrested and appeared in court the next day. And when I first met Steve, he did describe himself as a conviction politician. And I took that at face value. What I didn't realise, Madam Mayor, is he meant a convicted politician. But Steve, in fairness to Steve, he wasn't convicted. Actually, let me just put that on the record, as we are in a public meeting. He wasn't convicted, but Steve does believe passionately in causes, as Councillor Hilton said. And I think that's what has made his time on Chorley Council probably very significant, because things such as the green agenda, things such as affordable housing have always been exceptionally close to his heart. And a lot of the changes we've seen and a lot of the policies that we've introduced on those areas are because of Steve's input and because of Steve's work. So he has to be congratulated on that. And just to pick up on what Councillor Hilton said as well, Steve does have many excellent qualities as a person and as an individual. He's extremely kind and warm-hearted, and I know that as people meeting through this year, they will get a real sense of that, and that's why I think Steve will be an excellent mayor and see all the good work that's going on, but also continue to contribute, raise money for charities, etc., even in these challenging times, Madam Mayor. We know that his mayoral year won't be a normal one. It's already shorter than perhaps normal. We'll reduce his allowance accordingly, so he doesn't need to worry about that. But I am sure that Councillor Holgate will enjoy his time and be an excellent representative on behalf of the people of Chorley.
Oh, thank goodness that was the truncated version.
Thank you. Would the group leaders like to say anything? Councillor Bradley.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and follow that. But as both Councillor Wilson and Councillor Hilton have raised already, Steve is known for his enthusiasm, his passions and his projects. He always has a project on the go. He has something he's up to, something he's doing. Something I learned to my cost many years ago when I think I was involved in one of his campaigns when he came back onto the council in the old Chorley South East ward, supported ably by the very youthful at that time, Councillor Murray. And we had to traipse around the streets with Stephen and disentangle him from various doorstep debates that had gone out of hand. He hasn't changed, Madam Mayor. He can still have a doorstep debate with the best of them and usually gives as good as he gets. Steve's had a varied life in terms of work, travel, places he's lived, places he's been. But I always think Steve's heart remains in Chorley. It's where his family's based. It's where his commitment has always been. It's where he's known and loved by the people who he comes into contact with. He's had a very strange start, Madam Mayor, to his year as mayor, as you were having a very strange end to your year as mayor. But I think Steve will bring all the strengths that we've heard about, his adaptability, his enthusiasms, his keenness and his passions into making the very best of his mayoral year. And on behalf of the Labour Group, Steve, I think we all wish you the very best of luck over the coming 9 months, whatever you've got left, because you will cram 12 months into 9 months. Nothing shorter than that. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Councillor Walker.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. On behalf of the Conservative Group, it gives me great pleasure to support the nomination of Steve Holgate as the Mayor of Chorley for this reduced municipal year. Steve has been on the council for 15 years and has been a county councillor for 8 years. It could be said that he's one of the select group of councillors who has been on the council pre and after exec cabinet. Steve has served on many of the committee and has been chair of ONS, not only here on this council, but chair of ONS at county. Steve currently champions the new green agenda throughout the council, and I'm sure he will continue this theme during his year as mayor. Steve, with your experience on the council, the honour of being Mayor of Chorley is a position that you richly deserve, and I wish you and the Mayoress an enjoyable and healthy year in office. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I invite members to use the raise hand function on your iPad to make any comments, please? Councillor,
Me?
would you like to come in? Councillor?
Yes, thank you. Can I just add my congratulations to Steve? Some of us, and I spoke to Danny earlier, go back a long way. And some 30 years ago, I believe, I remember in the days when the late great Jack Wilson was leader, Mr. Holgate, as he was then, came into the council chamber with an evil smelling bucket of some unidentified substance to make sure we were all aware of his green credentials. I'm sure that his mayor office, his year of office, or 9 months, will be recognised and remembered for all the great green initiatives that he's already started and will continue to do. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I think that's enough.
Thank you. We are now at the end of the debate on this proposal. We have a proposal and a seconder. Chris, can you please confirm the proposal?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The proposal is to elect Councillor Steve Holgate as to the office of the Mayor of Chorley for the year 2020-21.
Are we all in favour of the proposal?
Agreed.
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Thank you very much. Chris?
In the absence of any naysayers, I can confirm the outcome of the vote is that Councillor Steve Holgate has been elected to the role of Mayor of Chorley.
Thank you very much. Congratulations, Councillor Holgate. Item 6, election of the Deputy Mayor for the Council year 2021. Can I have a proposer and a seconder, please?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd like to propose my ward councillor colleague Julia Berry as Deputy Mayor. I'm sure she'll make a superb assistant to Steve. She made outstanding contributions both to Chorley and to Lancashire, and I'm really looking forward to her year of office next year. I make that formal proposal, Madam Mayor.
Have a seconder, please.
One moment, Madam Mayor. Getting there. Yes, Madam Mayor. I'd like to echo what Councillor Whittaker just said. And I first met Julia a couple of years ago and was very impressed to find out that she cycled everywhere, pretty much like I used to do. And until one day when she went into Chorley Station to go to wherever and parked her bike up and chained it securely to the rails. And when she came back, both wheels were missing. It remained there for some weeks. And then I did my damsel in distress act and got an angle grinder with the permission of the guy at the train station with an extension and freed her bike from the railings. I believe her bike is still in the shop to be repaired, and I call upon her to get it out. She won't need it because she'll be in the mayoral car, but she can get around Chorley on her bike again. And I would like to formally second that proposal, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Would the group leaders like to say anything, please? Please, Councillor Bradley.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. On behalf of the Labour Group, we are, of course, delighted to support the nomination of Julia Berry as the Deputy Mayor for this council year. Julia has been a councillor for, I think, nearly 13 years on and off over a number of periods. We go back a long way, myself and Julia working through the party, and I think everybody who's worked with Julia will recognise that she's very caring, she's very involved in a lot of issues, and she tends to look to support those people who often can't speak up for themselves and be an advocate for them, and that's a very important role that she does. I'm sure through some of the skills and attributes that she has, that she'll be a great support to Steve over this year, and also that will then set her in good stead for her own mayoral year the year after, and hopefully she will continue to do those things that she does so well by advocating for those who are less fortunate in Chorley and keep bringing those to our attention. Thank you, Madam Mayor. We support this proposal.
Thank you. Councillor Walker.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. On behalf of the Conservative Group, delighted to support the nomination of Councillor Berry as Deputy Mayor for this coming year, and no doubt next year we'll have plenty more to say about her coming year as Mayor of Chorley. Thank you.
Walker. Can I now invite members to use the raise hand function on your iPad to make any comments, please? Thank you. We are now at the end of the debate on this proposal. We have a proposer and a seconder. Chris, please can you confirm the proposal?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The proposal is to elect Councillor Julia Berry as Deputy Mayor of Chorley for 2020-21.
Are we all in favour of the proposal?
Agreed.
Yes.
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Agreed. Or.
Thank you. Chris will confirm.
Agreed.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. In the absence of any nays, the decision is that Councillor Julia Berry has been elected as the Deputy Mayor for Chorley for the year 2020-21.
Thank you. Congratulations, Julia.
Thank you.
A bit lost. I think you're going to the declaration of the acceptance office here, isn't it? Yeah. Steve.
I, Steve Holgate, having been elected to the office of the Mayor of the Borough of Chorley, declare that I will take this office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties of it according to the best of my judgment and ability. I will observe the code of conduct which is expected of members of the Borough of Chorley.
Thank you. Councillor Berry.
I, Julia Berry, having been elected to the office of Deputy Mayor of the Borough of Chorley, declare that I take that office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties of it according to the best of my judgment and ability. I will observe the code of conduct which is expected of members of the Borough of Chorley.
Thank you. I'll hand over to Councillor Holgate now.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and thank you everybody for your support. We'll move on to item 7 now, if I may, which are tributes to the retiring Mayor. And I would just like to say that I think Hasina has done a fabulous job, more recently in very difficult circumstances, and her Bollywood event will remain in my memory forever, as will some of the dancing that I tried to perform there, which probably scarred a few people as well. But
thank you, Steve.
Councillor Bradley.
Sorry, Mr. Mayor, I was looking at the former Madam Mayor when I'm still not yet ready for the change, Mr. Mayor. I will not do that again.
You're forgiven.
Thank you. Yes, as Councillor Holgate, the Mayor says, it has been a year of highlights, Hasina, and for yourself and for Zafar. I think we've all appreciated your condensed mayoral year, from the very start with your civic dinner and the different setup there, through the various cultural events that you've presented to us and made us enjoy, and we have enjoyed them. Hasina, we've definitely enjoyed them. But one of my highlights was Zafar's call to prayer, which I don't think even he knew he could do, which impressed everybody. You've been very busy, Hasina, and that is always a delight to see a mayor who's very busy, who gets around the borough and reflects the borough back to us here in this council chamber and this council building. You've been a great representative for Chorley in very difficult times, and I think you've been a breath of fresh air across the wider Lancashire and here within Chorley. We can tell you've enjoyed your time, because I think you found it very difficult the last few months, giving some of the stuff that you were planning to do, and that's a shame. But having said that, I think you crammed a lot into the months that you did do. You'll be grateful I wasn't at the Bollywood evening for my own dancing. I think I would not just scarred people mentally, Councillor Holgate, but physically as well. But I hear it was a great night, and I still watch Councillor Morwood's dancing on video occasionally just to cheer myself up. You've always been personally supportive of me and supportive of the administration. You were scrupulously fair in the chair. You did grow in confidence through the year, and we saw the increased use of the gavel and the be quiet to members, which again showed that confidence that you brought to the role. And I hope that you take that confidence into future roles within the council that you take on, because I think the year has also seen you grow in that role and growth from being the chair of our meetings. And most mayors find it challenging to start with, but you certainly took on that mantle very quickly. I want to thank you, Nasina, and your family for what you've done for the people of Chorley over the last year. You've been a great example for Councillor Holgate to follow, and I'm sure there's many things that we will learn from the past year, both as a council and about how we do the mayoralty in the future. And it's been an education for all of us. So thank you all, to you and your family. Thank you, Nasina.
Thank you. I've had an indication from Councillor Walker that he wishes to speak on behalf of the Conservative group.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On behalf of the Conservative group, it gives me great pleasure to thank the retiring Mayor for the hard work and time she has given over the past months in representing Chorley at the many functions and events around the borough and neighbouring authorities. Sadly, due to the dreadful virus, many events that you would have attended had to be cancelled. Nevertheless, at the events that did take place, Nasina promoted herself along with her consort in her usual relaxed and happy manner, and members will thank you for the way you conducted yourselves in promoting the borough of Chorley and raising money for your charities. Thank you.
Right. Is there anyone else wish to speak before I move on? Councillor Whitaker.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to echo a couple of comments that are made about the Bollywood Bowl, and I brought a young man with me to the Bollywood Bowl who's from the subcontinent, families from the subcontinent, and it was really, for me, I truly felt that Chorley, because of Asina's contribution, was really a multicultural and welcoming town, and I'd just like to congratulate her on that particular issue. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. There's nobody else? Thank you, Asina. And we'll move on to item 8. Sorry, Asina. I've nearly stolen your glorious moment. A response by the retiring mayor.
It's not so glorious today. Trust me, it's only very short. But here it is. It has been a huge honour to be Mayor of Chorley over the past year. I have thoroughly enjoyed visiting people and places across the borough, and it has been extremely humbling to meet so many people who work tirelessly and selflessly to help and support others in our local communities. I'd like to thank everyone who has supported me in this role, including the civics team and my secretary Paula. They're absolutely outstanding. Another thank you must go to all the members who have attended my charity events and community events and supported me to help raise money for my chosen charities. I had planned further fundraising events which unfortunately had to be cancelled due to this terrible pandemic that we continue to face. Thanks must also go to my chaplain, Father Neil Kelly. He's also been hugely supportive and has worked with me to help bring together people from different communities and cultures, and also my Imam Shafiq from Chorley Mosque. I would especially like to express my gratitude to my husband and consort, who has accompanied me to many engagements, and to all my family for their unwavering support over the past 12 months. I'm pleased to be handing over the reins to Councillor Steve Holgate, who I know will do his utmost to serve the people of Chorley, and I wish him all the very best for the year ahead. I know he'll just be a fantastic mayor. I know you will be, Steve. You'll do your best, and people are going to love you, Steve. Last but not least, I would like you to join me in wishing Councillor Tony G a very happy birthday, who is 80 years young today. Happy birthday, Tony.
Thank you. It's now my turn to thank everybody in this room and back at home in front of your TV set, so to speak, for honouring me by asking me to become and voting for me to become the mayor for the forthcoming year. I also need to thank my daughter Emma, who has, despite having 5 children and a husband to look after and a business to run, agreed to be my mayoress. She's an absolute star, and if you like me, you'll love her. She's fabulous. I am slightly biased, of course. I'm not going to say a great deal at this moment in time, but there are 4 charities that I've chosen to support this year, and quite how I'm going to raise the money, I'm not absolutely sure, because we usually fill ourselves with this room and money is extracted from people at quite a rate of knots. That cannot happen this year because of the mass not being allowed to meet in mass. So therefore I'm going to have to think of some other things, perhaps some virtual sponsored walks or something like that. Sounds a bit strenuous, but you never know. My charities I've chosen is St Catherine's Hospice. How could you not, with the work that they do? It's absolutely unbelievable, and this seems like they've been there forever, supporting the most poorly of people in Chorley. Also, Chorley Youth Zone, I am going to support them because there is no doubt about it. The response and the membership that they've received as a very new organisation is absolutely astonishing, and that's just a reflection of the work that they do with young people. They're an absolute credit to the town. There's a smaller organisation called Chorley Sheds that work with people who are struggling with some mental health issues, and they're based at Victory Park in Chorley, and they will be receiving my support as well. And finally, a very new organisation called Chorley Green Living, whose aim and objective is to explain and give options to people to make choices about the lifestyle that they lead in terms of health and well-being, and also in environmental impacts and reduction of their carbon footprints. Those are the 4 organisations that will be receiving mayoral support this year. I'll leave it at that because I'm sure I'd like to thank Councillor Wilson in particular for his contribution to seconding me as mayor. If that's the truncated version, then I'm dreading the full version when that comes along. But thank you very much for everybody involved. Thank you. Am I okay to go to item 8 now? Yes, good. I've got the nod. Right. Item 8 is the appointment of the executive leader of the council. That's to elect the executive leader for the council. This is a 4-year appointment and was last elected in 2016. A proposer of Councillor Wilson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just to correct the papers there, it is of course an appointment for 1 year because we have all-out elections next year, which were due to take place in May, but as we know, were postponed. So the executive leader will only be imposed for 1 year, so we can get rid of them after a year if we feel like it. We just need to find someone now to do it. I can't think, but I will, in the absence of anyone else, nominate Councillor Bradley to be the executive leader for the forthcoming year.
Right. Sharp as a razor. Thank you, Councillor Wilson. I've got seconder as Councillor Adrian Lowe. Adrian?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Pleasure in seconding Councillor Bradley as the executive leader for the forthcoming year.
Right. This is for decision, so can I invite members to use the raised hands as a function on your iPad if you wish to make any comments at this time? I see no raised hands, virtual or otherwise. Therefore, we are now at the end of the debate of this proposal. We have a proposer and a seconder, and Chris, Mr. Moister, could you please confirm the proposal?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The proposal is to elect Councillor Aleister Bradley as executive leader to the council.
Right. Are those in favour?
Yeah. Agree.
Anyone against?
Four. Agree.
Right. Okay. I don't hear anyone against. Mr. Moister, could you give us the result, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The decision is that Councillor Aleister Bradley has been elected as the executive leader for Chorley Council.
Okay, right. We're okay to move on to item 9, which is the consequential changes to committees and outside bodies. Following the resignation of Councillor Bell and myself becoming mayor and Councillor Walker becoming leader of the opposition, there are some changes that need to be made to committees and outside bodies. And I believe Councillor Bradley has a series of names and proposals for us. Councillor Bradley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. There are obviously a large number on the agenda of changes. I don't propose to read them all out at length, and I don't think I need to. They've been circulated by the various groups and what have you, and this format of meeting makes it very difficult to run through those. But in principle, as you point out, Mr. Mayor, that there is a number of replacements and changes on various committees, and I think they've been agreed by both groups. And therefore I would move that that slate of changes is made, with the caveat, Mr. Mayor, that obviously when we get back to business as usual, there maybe more changes to be made and various posts that still need filling, but this will see us through until such stage as that takes place. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Okay,
Councillor Wilson, you're down to seconds.
Seconded, Mr. Mayor.
Right. Does anyone wish to speak on this item? If not, can we agree that this is a correct proposal for now? Agreed?
Agreed.
Okay, right.
4.
Councillor Dalton wishes to speak. Councillor Dalton. So he doesn't wish to speak. Okay, right, we'll move on. Mr. Moister.
Thank you, Chair. The proposal was to confirm the consequential changes to committees and outside bodies that were detailed in pages 19 and 20 of the supplemental agenda. A vote has been taken and those changes have been approved.
Okay. I think that item is done. Item 10. Any urgent business previously agreed with the Mayor? I have no urgent business items. I now declare the meeting closed. Thank you all for your attendance. ICT, please can you stop the recording?